Hi, my name's Nicole, and I'm this year's Food Corps School Nutrition Service member with the New Jersey Department of Agriculture. Today we're going to learn about composting and build our very own compost pile. How is composting beneficial to our garden and our earth?
Half of these materials have something in common with one another, and it's your job to figure out what that characteristic is. Apples and aluminum cans, water bottles and leaves, eggshells and plastic bags, carrots and paper clips.
What do you think half of these objects have in common? If you said that these items are biodegradable, compostable, come from nature, or were once alive, you would be correct. All things that were once alive break down into their basic elements with the help of decomposers. When this happens, we get compost, which can be added to the soil to help grow more plants. Compost enriches the soil, retains moisture, suppresses plant diseases, and keeps away pests. Using compost in our gardens also helps eliminate the need for chemical fertilizers. And making compost helps to reduce our methane emissions. Some gases in our Earth's atmosphere, such as methane, trap heat from the sun, just like the glass roof or walls of a greenhouse, hence the name greenhouse gases. Too much of these gases in our atmosphere will cause our planet to heat up, which is called global warming. Too much heat could eventually cause flooding, severe storms, and loss of plant and animal life. Think about it like this. The waste that we use for composting means that there's less waste going into landfills. As a result, we help reduce the amount of greenhouse gases and help prevent our planet from becoming too warm. By composting, we're helping to reduce global warming. Today we're going to be making our very own compost pile. You can use this compost in your school or personal garden to help your plants grow.
Let's gather our materials. We need a space for our pile or a compost bin, water, broken sticks or wood chips, green materials such as food waste, grass clippings, weeds, or garden debris, brown materials such as straw, branches, brown leaves, or shredded cardboard, a shovel, and garden soil. The amounts of all materials needed are going to depend on the size of your compost pile and the amount of compost you would like to make. First, we're going to create a layer of broken sticks. This will help the water drain from the pile so it's not too wet. Then we're going to add a layer of greens and sprinkle with water. This green layer adds nitrogen to our compost pile. Plants need nitrogen because it helps them to grow, process their food, and create chlorophyll. Next, we're going to add a layer of browns and sprinkle with water. These woody materials are a source of carbon for our compost pile. It's important to have a good balance of nitrogen and carbon in our compost piles. If there's too much carbon, then decomposition will slow down. And if there's too much nitrogen, the compost will develop an unpleasant odor. Then we want to add a layer of garden soil and sprinkle it with water. Though we might not see them, there are microorganisms in the soil that are decomposers, just like worms, that will help break down the materials in our compost pile and help release all the good nutrients they hold. We add water because the microorganisms need water to stay alive, just like we do. To maintain our compost piles, we need to continue adding layers to it. Stir or turn the pile every so often and keep it moist but not too wet. We can add layers to our compost pile as we find additional biodegradable materials. At my home, we collect our biodegradable food waste, and at the end of each week we add it to our compost pile, along with brown leaves that we collect when raking our lawn. The compost can be turned every 2 to 4 weeks by simply inserting your shovel or fork into the pile and turning it over, much like you would toss a salad. Waiting at least 2 weeks allows the center of the pile to heat up and promotes maximum bacterial activity. Turning our compost is important because it helps to aerate the soil, as well as regulate temperature, microbial activity, and moisture. Your compost is ready to be used when the initial ingredients are no longer recognizable, and what is left is an earthy smelling substance similar to a rich organic soil. Let's reflect on what we learned today. Did you learn anything in this video that surprised you? How do you think composting benefits our garden and our earth?
I hope you had a great time learning about composting today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!